I think we could be about to have an almighty pump in the altcoin market, and there is numerous flashing signals right now that are indicating to me where I think we're about to go. And in this video, I'm going to take you over the 6 different altcoins that I'm holding right now, and which ones I've been looking to take profits on, and which ones I'm looking to load up more on as we go into the next week. So hit the like button and let's get on with the video. Now guys, before you ask, yes, I'm going to be doing a $100 giveaway later on in this video and announcing the winner from that, so stick with me. Now first of all, I want to just look at this Bitcoin chart right now. The first time we've entered over this blue line, okay, which is on the monthly chart, we've always entered into a bull market. This has been true for 12 years, ever since 2011. And yes, we did dip back below it after the COVID crash, but actually that was a black swan event. Unless we're anticipating that there's going to be some other major COVID level event happening in the next year or two, you could theoretically anticipate a move continuing towards the upside. And there's something else that supports this, and it's this. This is a really interesting and important chart to be looking at right now, and this is from Tech Dev over on Twitter. Now, I've heard in the past other people talking about what's called the liquidity cycle and the really true thing that drives the crypto bull market. And what you can see in this middle chart here is the CN10Y and the DXY. This is US dollar index and the Chinese renminbi or yuan index in the middle. And what you'll notice is from 2009 when this started, we see the Bitcoin chart starting all the way down there. We get these pullbacks in the liquidity, and then you get these green dots at the end of these sort of signal points once these trends break, and then you start moving towards the upside. And literally exactly to the point, the last 4 times that this has happened in literally the last 10-15 years, you can see that we are bouncing into bull markets. And right now we've just flashed one of these signals, and you're like, well, what is liquidity? Well, if you start to think about this and understand what really is driving any market out there, then you'll understand that it's liquidity. Now, I had to ask ChatGPT for a definition, and not even ChatGPT knows. So I had to ask Perplexity, which is a better AI tool, in fact, and it's free. Go and check out perplexity.ai. The liquidity cycle refers to the flow of money and availability of liquid assets within an economy or financial system. It is influenced by factors such as money supply, economic cycles, participants in the economic cycle. Now, if you think about it, effectively what it's saying is the amount of money that is available. Now, you as an investor understand how much money you have to invest in crypto right now. Some of you may only have $10, some of you may have $10,000, some of you may have more, some of you may have less. That's your own liquidity, if you like. When the banks and bigger institutions have their own liquidity supply, and it's increased, they have more opportunity to take on more risk. I think you'll agree that if you had more money in your bank right now, then you would be happier to take on more risk in terms of your crypto investments. And I'll talk about a little idea later on of how you can increase that money in your bank. So simply understanding this indicates something very useful. And the next part to look at is this, which is a falling wedge on the crypto total market cap minus Bitcoin. And you will see that we have had a breakout, we've come back for a retest, and right now we could be on the verge of a break towards the upside in the altcoin market. This is very exciting because this is over 2.5 years old. And what does it mean for us? Well, let's have a look at what's really going on in the crypto markets. Well, first of all, I want to look at Bitcoin, because ultimately Bitcoin has just been stuck in one of the most boring pieces of time ever since when? Back in middle of June. Okay, so back since the middle of June, Bitcoin has just been slowly sliding towards the downside. Although when you zoom out and look at this on a weekly, you could probably ask a kid what's going to happen next, and they would probably give you the right answer. Because if I show you, like, you know, these last kind of few trending, where we have these kind of like, well, that's a really badly drawn one. These kind of like dips towards the downside, okay? And you can see these sort of dips towards the downside. Every time we're breaking above it. Yeah, I am aware that that doesn't look like much like one. Okay, let's pay attention to this one. But what we tend to do is get a compression, a quieten time. And if you put this current position of Bitcoin in conjunction with what you're seeing on all those other charts, it would make sense that Bitcoin is about to have a break towards the upside, and it's going to pull a lot of other altcoins with it. Now, as we look at the top 100 coins for the last month, Now you'll see a lot of coins in here, a few of which I'm currently holding, but I'm going to look at them in a little bit of detail. It's important to note that there are coins in here that are, pumping, having some pretty good runs, considering that Bitcoin hasn't been doing much. This, to me, indicates something about where we might be in the crypto market. Now, typically, in a bear market, when Bitcoin's not doing much or going sideways, the altcoins are starting to lose even more juice, okay? They're just losing more and more money. Now, as we look back at crypto bubbles, yes, there's a lot of coins that are down, but when you see the likes of hbar up 38%, kaspa up like a couple of 100%, it would indicate to me that we are kind of like somewhere in this kind of like region creeping around between kind of phase 2 and phase 3. Because phase 1 and phase 2, we saw big pumps in Ethereum and, the market in general saw a pretty good time. And then we've sort of seen a bit of a cool off in those and people taking profits perhaps out of Bitcoin and Ethereum and putting them into other coins. And that brings me on to the next topic of discussion. Now, if you were subscribed to my channel, which you absolutely should be, then you'll understand probably the majority of coins that I'm going to talk about that are in my collection of coins. And if you're not sure and you want to know exactly what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and when to do the same as me, then you'll need to get into the Inner Circle Discord, which is linked down below, just $10 per month with a 5-day free trial. You can see I'm talking about kaspa here, all the other coins that I'm looking at right now, Bitcoin, and many others. We've also got other traders here who are making massive profits here. We can see one of the guys making over 50% in a trade recently on BitGet, and they're also sharing all of their insights on charts. As well as that, last month we did a raise for a pre-ICO project where we managed to get inside alongside Polygon Studios into a pre-ICO coin. That is a very exciting thing. That's something that allows you to buy at around 2 cents and see a launch of around 20 cents later on when everyone else is getting in. You can get in with the big money by going and becoming a member of the Inner Circle Discord, where you can join our VC and enter along with us. Now guys, back to what I'm looking at right now. Now, I've talked about a few times my kind of idea of what is happening. Now, personally, I don't really hold Bitcoin, and there's a very good reason for that, in that, yeah, Bitcoin does move earlier, but there are other big altcoins that will see pumps alongside Bitcoin. And my first coin that, I have as pretty much a staple in the bag is Ethereum. Now, there's one thing I also want to mention about why I hold some of these coins, is that I hold some of them because I know that they're most likely to see good pumps towards the upside first. Yes, they have good tech, and yes, there's tons of better tech out there than Ethereum, but Ethereum still will see better gains towards the upside than others right now. It might not see the kind of 100x or whatever that you might be looking for, but what we're doing right now, and what I'm doing right now, is preparing a larger bag of coins so that I can get into a full-blown bull market and make the most of my opportunity. So what I'm looking at right now, Ethereum, I've just been steadily kind of adding to my Ethereum position as I go. I do expect that if Bitcoin is breaking towards the upside, then Ethereum is due to see a push significantly higher. And I think kind of the next line in the sand will be up towards these lows here, somewhere around the $2,450 level, which would be something like a 35% gain. Now, Ethereum makes up something like 40% of my portfolio, and I don't do things exactly how other people would, who say, oh, you must hold loads of Bitcoin and whatever. You can, I have no problem with it. It's a lower risk coin, but maybe I'll do things slightly differently. And I will try and limit myself to around sort of 5 or 6 different bags right now, because I don't want to spread myself too thin. I want to be able to take profits from one and move them into others. And here's an example of what I did very recently, and I use kaspa as the example. Now, I made a video about kaspa where I was buying into kaspa somewhere around here, okay? I didn't get in all the way down at that bottom point, but I did identify that we had seen a high, we had a nice pullback, and it did look pretty bullish. We saw a pullback into this area, so I was buying kaspa. So from that point, I was going up with kaspa, and I made this video about kaspa saying that we would likely have a pullback. So what I did is I pretty much took 80% of my kaspa out, and now we've seen it pull back 23%. And you're like, well, what did you do? Why did you take your money out? I took my money out of kaspa and I move it into the other altcoins that I have in my bag right now, one of which is Solana. Here is Solana. So you can see I basically took out money from kaspa a couple of weeks ago, and I was buying into this green zone. As you know, I love to talk about buy zone. Now I'm an extra 12% up, whereas if I left it in kaspa, I'd be 23% down. So let me just go over that once more so that it really makes sense. If I bought, and let's say I use $1,000 and I bought $1,000 here, it goes up to here, 120%. Let's say for simple maths, it goes up 100%. I've now got $2,000. If I held, I could be down from my $2,000 at that point. I could be down, 16%. So I'd be down $300. And that would be $1,700. $1,700. Instead, by going across to Solana and taking $1,000 of that $2,000 model, then I will basically say I've added another 12%. I added another $120, which means now I've got $1,120 in Solana, and I've now got $1,000 in something else. And most of that money was split and went into XLM and into hbar. Now you'll see that XLM right now continued after I made that purchase to fall a little bit, but I also already had some money in XLM. Why am I in these different coins? Well, first of all, because I've drilled home the importance of this ISO 20022 stuff and how these coins are going to see some big pumps towards the upside. There's loads of stuff gathering behind Ripple and XRP stuff right now. I'm not paying too much attention to the court case because in my opinion, it's just fear, FUD, whatever you want to call it, in order to shake people out. XLM is going to have some solid upside. Obviously, I've been telling you for a while that I've been accumulating on the way up, but every time we get these pullbacks, I just put money that's come from another pump. So for example, here, I would have taken the money and I would have put it in something else. I keep those 6 coins, and when I take from a pump and I give it to one that hasn't pumped, okay? Take it from the rich cryptos, give it to the poor. And this is going to be the same until we see sort of entering into another phase, which I think is going to be a long way off. And here, I made a video on hbar yesterday, and actually I was admitting, and yesterday I did say that hbar would likely stick around this red point. And you can see that I was wrong, and it's actually currently pumped another 13% up, okay? So at this point, however, I was taking money out of hbar because then I can take out my profits here and move them into something else. And you know what? If it continues up after, well, I'm not greedy. It might sting a little bit in the back of my mind, but it's just good discipline to take profits. Now, what I'm saying isn't that I sell everything after a pump. I sell when we get a pump because there's a more likely chance of it coming back against you. And the same thing is when you get like a dump towards the downside, I'm identifying buy zones and I'm just moving stuff from coins that are pumped into coins that are yet to pump. So to just clarify, those coins I've been talking about that I'm basically moving money between right now, hbar, Ethereum, XLM, Kaspa, and XDC. Now, I did say 6. I actually kind of mean like 5 major ones because I just couldn't count. And yeah, okay, I do hold a little bit of like Veracity and, a handful of others, Tenet. But, these are my major bags that I'm talking about right now. And I want to show you, like, look, XDC I've been holding for a little bit, all the way since back kind of around this area down here. You can see what happens. It rallies towards the upside when it's pumped like 100%. When you want to show your friends how much money you've made in crypto on the last day or two, and I see it happening in my Telegram all the time, great, take money out of it. Or when someone else is showing you their profit from that coin, don't buy it, guys. Take money out of it. And I'm not saying you have to sell it all. I'll use that $1,000 example again. Put $1,000 into XDC and you get lucky, you put it in like here, it goes up 180%. You've got $2,800 sitting around here. And then you can take out a bunch of money. You can leave in maybe your original stake, or you can leave in $500, whatever it is, gets a pullback, and you can add more money in. You can just keep a bag for XDC and just move it in and out of XDC after pumps and wait for pullbacks. I know people like to just hold coins for a longer period of time. That is also fine. I only do what I do because, one, I look at it all the time, and this is basically my bread and butter, guys. I'm always looking at charts. I'm always paying attention to what's going on. And, I don't make the right call all the time, but if I'm consistently selling pumps and moving it to coins that haven't pumped yet, that I think have a good chance of pumping in the early phase of the market, then I just keep continuing to grow the bag. And I might not grow it as fast as if I just stay all in and get lucky on a pump that does like a 5 or 6x, but that's fine because I will get those later on in the market when I've got more money to throw into it. And there's something else that I want to bring up, but just before I do that, let's just do the giveaway before I forget about it. Now, if you're subscribed to the channel, just hit 35k, so to celebrate that, giving away $100 of a favorite altcoin. And what I asked was people to basically write down below their favorite altcoin, and I was going to give someone $100 So this is a video I made 19 hours ago. Just going to take the URL and we're going to drop it into here. And then we're just going to hit start and pick a winner at random. And here we can see William Maley is asking for Atom. So congratulations if you are winning it. I will send you a DM. And then you can get back to me. So congratulations to William. I'm just going to leave a comment down below on your channel. I'm going to leave a comment. Make sure you get back to me on Twitter or Telegram. And I will sort that out for you ASAP. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button. Make sure you get into the inner circle link down below, guys. And I will see you over there after this video. Bye-bye.